My daughter's a heroin addict. It started several years ago. I didn't know at first. I received a phone call telling me, and I tried looking into it. And I still wasn't sure until I got a call from the police. It was devastating. They called to tell me that she had been arrested and busted for dealing, and she was also an addict.
When did this happen?
In 2013, April, I think, of 2013. I always tried to keep on top of that to see how she was doing and what was going on, but there's only so much you can do when they don't live at home and they're an adult. You know, there's only so much you can do. You can have people looking out for them, keeping an eye on them, but there's nothing you can really do. She started dating a drug dealer. It made me sick to my stomach, but you know, when they're using, they tell you they're not really using. So you kind of hope that that's the truth. And I just kind of prayed for her and kept trying to keep, you know, tabs on her, see how things were going. And eventually, I found out that she was in it more than I thought, and she had a baby, and we had her most of the time, and we ended up with her living with us. And she never did any kind of needles or anything like that until the heroin came along. And then the boyfriend that she was with at that time was dealing it, and so she started dealing it. And it was just a hard road. It's been a long 8 years.
She's your oldest?
Yes.
She's your oldest. How many other children do you have?
I have another daughter of my own, and then I have 3 stepchildren.
So, being able to explain this situation to the younger ones, how was that? Like, because your life goes on with your other children. Mm-hmm. Is that hard?
My youngest daughter she's been devastated by it as well. She's had to deal with some. My oldest daughter has overdosed 3 times, has passed away 2 of those times in which they've brought her back. So the 3rd time she didn't do so well, but they brought her back. She wasn't, she didn't know her name, she didn't know where she was, and I begged the hospital to keep her in, and they wouldn't keep her. I said, just please keep her for 24 hours so that I can figure out where to put her, and the hospital wouldn't keep her. So, you know, my daughter was there with me through that. It's the hardest thing ever. There's no words to explain getting the call that your daughter died. The biggest problem is that when they do overdose, she overdosed. She was with a friend who drove her from one town to another while she was dead, and then called 911. And when they got to her, she ended up being dead for like almost 18 minutes. She now has tremors from that. And the second time, she was dead for like 10 to 12 minutes. And, you know, getting that phone call is just the worst phone call you ever can imagine getting. And then the feelings you have when they come out of it and they are alive, it's like such a relief, but then they go back out and they do it again, and you just, it's really hard.
Where is she?
Just, right now she doesn't live with us right now. She's back with her boyfriend, and just pray for the best. That's all we can do.
Would you say it's safe to say you think about her every second of the day?
Every day. Yeah, I don't. I believe she's not using heroin at this point. You know, she's recovered from that right now. But heroin it's the devil's drug, and it's very hard to get away from. Once they're on heroin, there's no easy way to get off of it. And that's what we're doing here as a group. We're trying to make change, trying to help the transition for these people to get help. It's very important. And we're really trying to make a stand. I actually, I wasn't even in the group when I was alone when I was going through it. I mean, I had some friends that were there for me, and my husband was a very huge support for me, and my daughter, and some family members. But for the most part, nobody understands what you're going through. I felt very alone in all of this. My husband was there, like I said, and my daughter, my youngest daughter, and they helped me. You know, they were there for me to talk to, and I had some, you know, good friends. But for the most part, nobody understands. You go through it, and people look at you like, what's wrong with your kid? You know, they just never learn, especially when you have one that's overdosed 3 times. You know, my daughter-in-law was there with me at the hospital, and you know, it's really difficult because people don't understand. They just look at someone who's a heroin addict or an addict of any drug, alcohol even, and they look at them and think, what's wrong with this person? You know, get it together. It's harder than you think, you know. And I myself, I have a person in my family that's an addict, and I felt the same way, I'm not going to lie, when I looked at that person, and I was like, good Lord, you know, like, come on, get it together. And how many times do you have to, you know, go to a juvenile facility or whatever before you learn? But it's just not that easy. I mean, they really need a lot of help to get through it. And us as moms and sisters and family members need that as well. I'm not embarrassed by it. I'm more angry. I'm sad. You know, it's very emotional for me. But it's more of a feeling like you wait every day. Every day you wonder if you're going to get that call. And it's kind of like, let's put it this way, if you have a child or a mother or a father or a loved one on life support or on anything in the hospital, and you're waiting every day for that call to see that they quit breathing. You know, that's really what it feels like. It feels like you're just waiting every day for that call to say that that person has died or overdosed. It's just that wait every day. She was a lot happier. She was just more carefree, more loving. She became very angry. I look at her graduation picture every day, and I'm like, I miss that, Brittany, you know. I miss her. And just more family-oriented. She doesn't really want anything to do with family. She's more about, you know, those people. And it's sad because you miss that. You miss the whole family situation. It's not there. I get angry, like, when she... when I found out about the heroin and things. Like I said, I didn't get embarrassed. I got more angry. Like, I wanted to go out and just, you know, make a statement. And you can't really do that when you don't have the backing to do it. It's just you out there screaming and nobody's listening. And I found this group on Facebook, and it was a different group. And then we started talking, and we met here at Denny's because they've been kind enough to let us use the room. And we've been meeting on Tuesday, every other Tuesday. And we broke away from another group, and we made this one. And this has been wonderful. I mean, we are just really making it, and we want to do bigger things and make this a bigger entity than what it is. I would like to see at some point, maybe we can do some fundraising, of course, but I would like to see, you know, eventually, if there's drug busts or things like that, that maybe, you know, some of that can trickle down to us. I mean, not a lot, but some, to help us out a little bit.
Now, what do you want to do with that money?
We want to put it into a fund to help. We would like eventually to, when someone comes to us, because we've had several people come to us, try to get into rehab, they have to wait 2 weeks.
Okay.
There is nowhere for them to go from the time that they want help and they're withdrawing to go from then to the rehab in 2 weeks. So we would like to find a facility or have something brought to us that we can put them there. You know, like have a halfway house, right? Exactly, for that transition of time, so that they have a place to go to detox and to transition into the rehab house.
So you've got plans. So
We have plans. If we could just get it going, would be good.